Welcome to the family of Lexavant LLP. We have so much to offer you, and we hope that we do justice to your expectations. Before I take you on a short mental trip of what Lexavant Colloquium is all about, let me introduce myself. I am Chaitanya Talhar, the co-founder and managing partner of Lexavant LLP. We provide end-to-end business solutions from legal to finance, from finance to technical. We will be there to start, support, and enhance your business. Through Leximo Colloquium, we want to encourage young lawyers to enter in legal entrepreneurship and also for entrepreneurs to understand what law is. Our vision is to expand the scope of how legal services are offered and how law is practiced. Keeping this in mind, we bring to you fantastic sets of episodes of rendezvous with top-notch legal entrepreneurs across the globe with different backgrounds, sharing their knowledge, wisdom, and also a few tricks up their sleeves, which will be a goldmine of knowledge and network both. I promise you that we will get the best of best for you. And for the first opening episode, we have Mr. Deepak Kapoor, CEO and founder of Manupatra, a nationally renowned legal database, who will be interviewed by my dear friend Mr. Archit Mishra, a final year law student in Symbiosis Law School, Pune. Hope you enjoy this episode. Stay tuned with us and follow us. Thank you. See you soon.
Welcome, sir. Indeed, it is a moment of great pleasure and a huge honor for me as a person who is in his final year of law degree course and has been honing and nurturing my skills since my first year by using India's one of the most finest legal research database, that is Manupatra, to have a conversation with the brain behind this unique, innovative, and strategically designed legal database. Thank you so much, Mr. Deepak Kumar, sir. On behalf of Lexavant, I welcome you very humbly. And sir, before we begin with this formal interview, there is something which I wanted to ask you very personally. So what was your motivation behind fructifying this entire idea of Manupatra 20 years ago when internet was not thriving?
Okay, I don't think so. You were born, or if you were born, you must be a toddler by when the idea was born.
Yes, sir.
That was a time of dot-com boom, 2000. That was the first dot-com boom the world has seen. It started somewhere in 1999. Okay, sometime in third quarter of 1999, McKinsey came out with a report on the vast opportunity for BPO and IT services in India. It was a $54 billion dream which they laid out in front of the Indian public. At that time, I was working in a private sector commercial bank as vice president. So the idea got into me, and I approached a friend of mine who agreed to act as an angel investor. So our first venture together was a LPO called LT Volus Infotech. So this was sometime in, actually the date was 21st January 2001 when we started the LPO. We started with 21 people, and at its peak, we had over 400 people working in 3 shifts for US large legal publishing companies. Okay, we had set up this place with people and machine, but we had no work. Then I started racking my brain from my investment banking days. Well, I'm by heart an investment banker, finance professional. When we were doing due diligence, large due diligence, the foreign law firms were referring to Lexis and Westlaw a lot during that time for their own agreements and all. And India being a highly litigation-prone society, I thought it's a good idea to try something in this. So I approached the same friend again and said, look, we have put up this place, we have the machines, we have invested, we have the people, and they have nothing to do. So why don't we start digitizing the old legal case books in India and create something like a Lexis or a Westlaw in India for the Indian market? So that was actually the seed for Manupatra. It took us, to be honest, 1 year to get this name Manupatra, because during the dot-com boom, all words starting with law, lex, and kanun had been taken up. Nothing was available. And we wanted a name which could be recognized pan-India. So we didn't want a Hindi name because in South it would be a problem.
Yes, sir.
Lex was not available. All possible combinations of Lex had gone. We didn't think of Lexavant, so it's a separate story. And at that time, it was only .com that was available. So you could only have a .com. There was no .co.in, no .in, no .tech, no .lawyer. Those domains were not available.
Sir, is there any story behind the unique name Manupatra as well?
Yeah. We would have spent close to a couple of months of man nights to figure this out because all the names were gone. Then when suddenly we came up with Manu Smriti, because Manu Smriti has got to do with laws. So we were very excited and we thought, let's take this URL, book this domain. The domain had already gone. So we were again in a difficult position. So we said, okay, let's use the word Manu and let's use the word Patra because that's paper and law is written on paper. And Manu is a person who had given us the first laws, Manu Smriti. So we combined the two words to make it Manupatra. And that's how Manupatra name was born. It had something to do with law. And surprisingly, it had a very high recall in South Indian market. The name Manupatra.
Very great, sir.
So that is the story behind Manupatra.
Sir, certainly you are one of the most influential legal entrepreneurs of this country. You have innovated a design which is acting as an inevitable resource for every lawyer, law student, academician in this field. Sir, you had a very stable and cushy job earlier. So, what was your initial inspiration that you quit that job and embarked upon a journey which is filled with uncertainties and started your own enterprise and as an entrepreneur?
Okay, if I trace my career history from 1986 onwards, I have always worked in greenfield ventures. At that time, the word startup ventures was not there. So being manufacturing era of manufacturing area, so it was called greenfield ventures. So I have always worked in greenfield ventures. My first company was Sona Systems, which was a Maruti JV. I was their first employee. So there I was exposed to everything. I was practically the executive assistant to the chairman at that time. So I was exposed to whether it was finance, whether it was marketing, manufacturing, licensing with the banks, financial institutions, etc. Then I joined another greenfield venture, India Glycols Limited, in 1988. Again, I was a fifth or the sixth employee. There I did all that what I had done in Sona plus the IPO. Between 88 and 90, 89 and the stock markets were totally in doldrums. India Glycol public issue turned around the market. And I'm glad I was associated with that public issue because I handled that single-handedly. 1990 was a critical phase in my life when I decided to join hands with two friends to start possibly the first financial services company in the private sector. So we were three of us who started. So I left again my cushy job with India Glycols and went into unknown territories with this venture of financial services. So we were hawking equity, loans, debentures, turnaround companies, done everything. So again, as luck would have it, in 92, we entered into a joint venture with the largest NBFC in India called 20th Century Finance. It doesn't exist today, but I'll come to that later. In 92, 93, I don't know if you remember, there was a Harshad Mehta scam.
Yes, sir.
Okay. So our company was hit badly because Our parent company at that time was the number 2 securities market dealer in Bombay after Harshad Mehta. So uh, our joint venture with 20th Century was breaking up, and 20th Century was looking for someone to head their Delhi, North India office. So they zeroed in on me. So again, I joined 20th Century in North Delhi as the first employee. So over the next 4-5 years, I built that company with 100 manpower in North India, and North Zone became the number 1 within 2 years across 20th Century. I was part of their PE fund, which was the second fund in India. I was on the investment committee, board of directors of a couple of companies. So post that, I joined a American private equity firm. Then I joined a private sector bank. So they're all new ventures. So it's there in my blood or DNA. I don't know, whatever you say. That's how Manupatra came in. The urge to do something of my own.
Sir, certainly there are so many stories related to your glorified career, which we don't know. Sir, I want you to recall the moments of your past, which obviously you lived and you conquered as well. Sir, tell us about the most troubling challenges you faced and the hardships you encountered till in this your journey.
Okay. Are you referring to Manupatra or my career?
Sir, Manupatra specifically,
Okay.
and then
Manupatra, no, that's easy. Manupatra part is easy. See, when we started off, it was difficult to get the content. And when we approached the courts, they used to say, okay, you give us a sample copy of your publication. They couldn't believe there's something internet and it's available on digital and there's no paper. Getting manpower was very tough because no one wanted to join a startup because 2001 was a bust year for the .com. If 99, 2000 was the boom phase, 2000 was the year, 2001, when everything went bust. All companies, internet companies fell flat. People in India lost their jobs, etc., etc., etc. So no one was willing to join us. So getting quality manpower was the most difficult part. But luckily, we were able to get and had a very, very good team because Manupatra could not have been built without a team effort, a phenomenal team effort.
Sir, you mentioned about your journey. You mentioned about the troubles you faced. So one thing which is coming in my mind is, so what is that one piece of advice which you think you could have given yourself 20 years ago when the market related to opportunities was at very weak stage and internet was not at its glorious peak?
I may not have done it. Jokes apart. Jokes apart. But okay, we may have, okay, 20 years back, if I was to do it today, I would have done it much faster because technology has changed. At that time, yeah, we were lucky with technology, but it's basically the manpower. And if we had some more money, we would have gone in much faster in the market. See, we were actually not bootstrapped, but we had limited resources. Unlike some of the new companies which are well funded by VCs and PE, and at that time, to be honest, we were jealous of startups who when you used to read, they had a Coca-Cola refrigerator in their office. The lunches were Domino's, pizzas, and all. We were going out, Priyanka, my co-founder, and I, when we used to travel, we used to stay in 2-star, 3-star hotels. We used to move about in local trains in Chennai and Bombay, move about in autos. That's how we ramped up. Instead of staying overnight, we used to say, okay, let's go in the morning, come back in the evening. Okay, we'll go back again 2 days later. So that was cheaper.
Sir, a school of thought related to entrepreneurship always state the fact that having a backup plan is very necessary. And as in backup plan will always allow you to land safely on your feet in case you fail. Sir, was there any backup plan available with you if Manupatra wouldn't have gained the success it had achieved now? And sir, what would you advise to young legal entrepreneurs regarding having a backup plan?
Okay, my biggest backup plan was my support from the family and friends. I could always fall back on them. The second was my deep experience in the financial services industry. I knew I could always go back there. So that was my backup plan. And third was the BPO company, which by then had started getting orders from overseas and we were ramping up. So if Manupatra had not happened, maybe we would have ramped up that company to 4,000-5,000 by now.
Okay, sir.
But the family and friend support was very, very critical. And my advice to people today is, before you start off, write the first piece of code, have a revenue model in mind. Don't think you will make a product, go into the market and then think of a revenue product, how the money will come in. Money doesn't come on advertisements, it doesn't come on eyeballs. You have to have a genuine, demonstrable revenue model.
Sir, indeed, that's very insightful. So we all know that Manupatra doesn't function in vacuum. There are so many external stakeholders like courts, law students, the entire legal fraternity is also involved in it. So how has been your interaction with these external entities and how have they shaped the journey of Manupatra?
Okay, to let you a secret out, Manupatra has been built by these people, by the stakeholders. See, all of us in our team, including the lawyers who were there, had no idea how internet research happens or what a lawyer is looking for. So when you used to go to sell the product, whether it's a small lawyer or a big lawyer, they used to tell us, okay, we need this also. It'll make our research easier. Why don't you do it this way? So they told us, whether it's the judiciary, the judges, the courts, the lawyers, big or small, Delhi, Bombay, Pune, wherever, we have built Manupatra on their advice, what they wanted. So it's a product built by our customers, our stakeholders, for them.
Very humbly put, sir. Very humbly. So one of the recent laurels which you just added to your list of achievements is your new venture related to law skills. And for the sake of our viewers, I must inform them that Law Skills is a unique online platform where courses are offered in your regional language. Sir, may we all know what was the thought behind it?
Okay. See, we have been doing Manupatra for 15, 16 years and we wanted to do something different. And what we felt, see, we have over 500 law schools as our customers. And the style of teaching and the intellect capacity of students in all these 500 is totally different.
Yes.
Okay, and we also realize all law schools, especially in tier 2 and tier 3 cities, cannot get quality teachers to teach all subjects of law, especially the new areas of law. So that is where the concept started. Okay, we know internet, we know how to make content. So let's get into e-learning. So we had a team, technical team with us who said, okay, we'll do our own LMS. So we designed our own LMS. We said, okay, we have contacts in the industry with law teachers, lawyers, etc. So let's approach them for creating courses. So that's how Law Skills started.
Sir, recently we all came to know about PD Lex as well. And again, for the sake of our viewers, I must inform them that PD Lex is an online legal research database of Bangladesh. Sir, firstly, my heartiest congratulations to you on that.
Thank you.
Sir, was this a medium through which you wanted to diversify a separate branch of Manupatra and project it as an international database? And sir, I also wanted to know that, do you think can there be any sort of comparison between your journey as an entrepreneur when it comes to Manupatra compared with BDLex?
Okay, I'll answer the first part. See, as I told you, new company starting something new is in my blood. So BDLex is an offshoot of that only. I must have traveled between 2016 and 18 at least 11, 12 times to Dhaka to create contacts, to understand how it works, etc. So that's how BDLex came up. It was not easy setting it up because we don't have too much luxury of appointing consultants and lawyers to do all that. We did all that. I did all that. Today I've stopped going there because our salespeople are zonal. Let's go there, and we have our team in Dhaka who does the sales. Sometime in 2014-15, we took a conscious decision to digitize Commonwealth law. Because that's all English speaking and that's all common law. And if you look at a lot of Supreme Court judgments, they do refer to UK and US case laws.
Sir.
Okay. That's when we said, okay, let's do Supreme Court of Canada, US, UK, because that's our parent country or whatever, parent legal body. So we digitized. Coming to the Indian subcontinent, till 1950, the courts were common, the laws were common. So anyway, we had digitized from 1812 onwards, which was common across all three countries, Pakistan, India, Bangladesh. And if you look at the judgments of the superior courts, you will notice a Indian citation coming in because they refer to Indian laws a lot. So we had digitized the case laws of all these countries. We had India, then we did till 1971 for Pakistan, because that was common for Pakistan and Bangladesh. In 71, Bangladesh got its own courts, independent court. So we did Bangladesh. And the case laws were not much, so it was a very fast thing. We had the technology with us already. We didn't have to do anything new. We had the case laws because we needed that for Manupatra, because we wanted our user to search and get results from across the world, which no other platform provides, whether it's Lexis or Westlaw or any other platform. We are the only one internationally which can give you a search result across all Commonwealth countries. So we were anyway selling in Pakistan and Bangladesh before even we had BDLex. So we thought, and for people in Bangladesh to remit money to India was difficult because the exchange control laws are very strict. So they say, yeah, we need the product, but we can't give you money. You please take takas. Yeah, sorry, I cannot accept. What will I do with takas? So to capture that market and to start getting subscription in local currency, we had to incorporate a subsidiary.
Sir, I must admit that it requires an immense vision to ponder all these things out and chalk out a plan which can work according to your venture. Sir, I also wanted to know that we have witnessed in past few years that certain new areas of law like competition law, bankruptcy, insolvency, arbitration are all emerging, and courts are giving so many judgments every day. So do you have any future plan through which you want to diversify another set of Manupatra, devoting all these niche areas and a research database similar to Clover arbitration or Clover competition?
See, India does not have a market big enough, a paying market, to subscribe to a journal like Clover arbitration or something. So commercially, it's not a viable as of today. Maybe down the road, if it becomes commercially viable, we'll definitely think, because we have the case laws. But why people subscribe to these international verticals is because of their articles, quality of articles.
Yes.
Okay. Sourcing that in India, I think, is still a problem. It's still a big problem.
Sir, Manupatra is in itself a very vast database. So many judgments, so many legislations, and recently during this pandemic, we have seen it was flooded with so many ordinances. A huge in-house support team is required. Sir, what qualities as a recruiter you look into a person while taking someone on board at Manupatra? And sir, what advice would you give to young legal entrepreneurs regarding having a strong in-house support team?
See, there are various functions in which we operate. So one is the technology part, core technology, where we have been very lucky to have our key people for the last 12, 15 years. So they understand. And getting people, let me tell you, is pure chance. It's a big chance. It's a big punt you take when you hire a person. Then coming back to our people who do our production work, they are basically graduates, and we look for sincerity and dedication. We'll teach you everything, but you have to be sincere and dedication. So that's what we try to pick up during our initial interaction. For coming to market sales, we need people who can sell a comb to a bald person. Okay,
So many things are required.
we need salespeople who are fearless, who don't get worried or intimidated by the opposite side, because that's what the lawyers do. They try to intimidate the other side. That's what they've been taught, is to intimidate the other side in a courtroom. So we need people who can stand up on that. In terms of law graduates, they should be up to date with current affairs. I'm very, very particular about that, current affairs. Because, okay, you have learned law in last 5 years, but are you up to date with current affairs? Because that's what keeps Manupatra ticking every second.
Yes.
You have to be current, very, very current. That's what we do.
Sir, legal entrepreneurship is itself a very unique area when it comes to analyze the entire legal education system in India. Sir, according to you, where are we lacking when it comes to impart the skills related to legal entrepreneurship? Because every fresh law graduate in this country either wants to join litigation or either wants to climb the ladder of a corporate sector.
See, there are two words in legal entrepreneurship, legal and entrepreneurship. I'll take the second word first. No one can teach you entrepreneurship. Let's be very honest. Whether you go to the top B schools in the world or India, okay, no one can teach you entrepreneurship. It has to be in your system. You should be a risk taker. You should have some experience of working in a corporate climate, because that's where you learn the systems and the processes. You just cannot, straight out of college, start a company without knowing what a ESI or a PF is, without realizing that you have to get yourself registered with the state commercial people, register with it, how to write a board resolution. What the entrepreneurs of today's time do, they're well funded. They have these outside agencies who will do everything for them. You don't learn that. You only learn by working 24 hours a day and doing all this yourself. Maybe later you also said, well, when you also said, you know what are the steps, and you know the other guy cannot make a fool of you because you know everything. Maybe more than what that guy does. So entrepreneurship cannot be taught. The other very, very important thing is fire in the belly. If you don't have a fire in your belly, you cannot achieve anything. There will be roadblocks, there will be disappointments. You have to be ready for all that. You should have a passion for what you're doing. Without passion, no way. If you have $1 million in the bank account, that's not a passion. That's lethargy and complacency. Yeah, I want the money in the bank account. So start small. And the most important thing in entrepreneurship is you should set a target by when I will close the venture. What is that time or what is the phase when I will decide to wrap it up instead of burning more money? Very, very important. Now, coming back to the word legal. So entrepreneurship is entrepreneurship. There's nothing called legal entrepreneurship. I can say I'm a legal entrepreneur without a law background here.
Yes, sir.
Someone has started, let's say, a payment gateway, finance background. He's also a legal entrepreneur. This is just entrepreneur.
Sir, do you think, I'll ask you very straight, do you think the future of this niche area type of entrepreneurship, which is so-called legal entrepreneurship, is right in India?
I think we have not seen anything as yet. Within Manupatra, we are coming out with 3 products in the next 1 year, which will compete worldwide if we decide to take it worldwide. But initially, we'll do for India only. Let me tell you, when I'm talking about this, Manupatra was the first publisher to have an ebook on Kindle in 2007, way ahead of international publishers. We were the first company to have an app on Apple Store, even before international publishers. So we look where the technology is going, and we try to do it faster than anyone else. That's why our next 3 products are in line with that.
Sir, due to paucity of time and the reasons which are beyond my will, I'll ask you the last question. Sir, what is that one invaluable advice which you want to give to the young legal entrepreneurs of this country?
चलता है attitude मत रखो. चलता है attitude does not work in anywhere. Be serious, be committed, and have a time frame and a target when you will wrap up if you're not successful. Don't keep on burning money because it's leading to unnecessary stress for yourself. You say, okay, I want 100 customers by year 1. If I don't get it, I'll wrap up. There's no harm in saying people I tried and I failed. People will appreciate you for that. But people will not appreciate if they say you keep on just burning cash flows every month.
Yes, sir. Thank you so much, sir, for acceding to our request on such a short notice.
Thank you,
And
Archit.
sir, it goes without saying that to avail this auspicious opportunity, to have a conversation with you, where I learned so many intricacies regarding this work, which I couldn't have learned from any legal textbook. I must admit, sir, I am deeply indebted to you for this conversation. And on behalf of Lexavant, we thank you so much, sir, and we are so grateful to you for taking out your invaluable time from a busy schedule. Thank you so much, sir.
Thank you,
Over to you,
Archit.
Shruti.
Thank you. Thank you, Archit.